Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here. On XRP, it's going to be a little bit of a strange update because, I mean, first of all, what I thought would happen for XRP did happen, right? I mean, if you watched my video yesterday, what I said is that I thought it was most likely that our main support level, which has shifted down, by the way, the main support level right now actually is more towards 2.82. Obviously, value areas, which is the main are the main indicators where my support levels are based on at this point of time for XRP at least. Those change, right? Because the volume changes. So the main support level was yesterday 2.84. I said I think it's most likely we're going to be able to hold that. And I think it's most likely we're going to be able to get a move into $2.95 and $3, where we have a lot of rolling VWAPs, as you can also see on the screen right here, and which is a relatively high liquidity area. There's quite a lot of liquidity there. As you can see, the previous month point of control is sitting at $3. So we pushed down, we pushed up into that with quite a lot of strength. I mean, XRP yesterday, when it was the entire market pushing up, like Bitcoin also pushed up slightly. But XRP was actually relatively strong yesterday over the course of the afternoon, and pushed up relatively strong. So that was as expected. That was what I said in the video. And then what I said is that, you know, what happens afterwards and what I expect afterwards in terms of, you know, can we actually get a further recovery? Let's call it a recovery, but further bullish momentum. Or are we going to get a deeper pullback into that low right here at 2.7? That depends on the reaction, and the reaction has been very bearish. And honestly, I did not say that in the video, but I did not expect a reaction like this. As you can see, we completely reversed by now the move down, and that's with quite a lot of weakness in the markets in general. I mean, if you take a look at Ethereum, we all knew this, but that Ethereum was relatively weak. But Ethereum has been even weaker, or has become even weaker. And Bitcoin has actually pushed down quite a bit as well. And then XRP is kind of our beacon of hope. That's actually still holding up relatively well. However, I'm not certain how much longer we can actually hold up relatively well if the market continues to push down. Now, luckily for XRP, or at least I hope, at this point of time, I do not necessarily, when we zoom out on Bitcoin, I do not necessarily expect us to push down much lower. We have some news coming out today, and that news is going to be important, right? I mean, I do see Bitcoin dropping down into this major support at 110.4 thousand. That's a possibility if we get some bad news, right? So today we have initial jobless claims and the GDP data coming out. If we get lower than expected jobless claims and we get lower than expected GDP data, like then I would say it's a possibility that XRP pushes down to 2.7. But for now, I'd say it's most likely that XRP is going to remain relatively stable. We have a strong support right here between 2.8 and 2.84, 2.83. Let's keep it at that. And there's not a lot of selling pressure, or at least we have already had over the course of the evening some strong selling pressure, and right now it does seem like we're forming some sort of a support, as you can also see on the 1 hour time frame. So for XRP, I expect stability. I would keep your eyes on the news. Like I said, we want to see higher than expected GDP data. We want to see higher than expected initial jobless claims. And then tomorrow, but I'll still talk about that tomorrow and later today, we want lower than expected inflation rate. Friday, we again have news. But as it stands right now, I expect stability, and stability means stability between 2.95 and 2.8. And then depending on the news, I think we're either going to get a move back into 3.12 or we're going to test 2.7. And if we're going to test 2.7, which I think it's too early to talk too much about this right now, but if we're going to test 2.7, we need to get a strong reaction there, right? At 2.7, maybe a little bit lower. But if we get a weak reaction there with a lot of volume, then we can push down lower. But that's for later. I don't want to scare you too much. For now, those are my thoughts. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.